The knife slid between the third and fourth rib with surgical precision, exactly as I had been trained. The Velorian female crumpled against me, her bioluminescent blood, that haunting shade of violet, spilling warm across my gloves. In the darkness of her quarters, her 4 eyes found mine, and I watched the light fade from each one in sequence. Then she smiled. "You came for Syreth," she whispered, her voice like wind through crystal. "You killed Kaelith instead." The words hit me harder than any plasma round. I released her body and stepped back, my training screaming at me to exfiltrate, to disappear into the station's ventilation system the way I'd entered. But something held me frozen. "Sister," came a voice from the doorway. I spun, blade raised, and found myself facing an identical figure. No, not identical. This one was smaller, younger, her bioluminescence a shade paler. The intelligence file's hologram flickered in my memory. High Priestess Syreth, architect of the Velorian resistance, responsible for the deaths of 37 human operatives. This was my target, and she was staring at her sister's body with an expression that transcended species, pure, devastating grief. "Kaelith took my place," Syreth said, her voice hollow. "She knew your kind would come. She wore my robes, stayed in my quarters. Those alien eyes, luminous gold, lifted to meet mine. She died protecting me, as she always did." My finger tightened on the knife's grip. The mission was still achievable. 1 thrust, 1 death, extraction in under 3 minutes. Colonel Morrison's voice echoed in my skull. "Clean kills, Sergeant Vance. No complications." Syreth didn't move, didn't run, didn't call for guards. "Do it," she said. "I won't stop you." I had killed 43 confirmed targets across 6 star systems. I had never hesitated. I hesitated. Why? The word escaped before I could stop it. Unprofessional. Dangerous. Because I'm tired. Syreth knelt beside her sister's body, those delicate fingers, 3 on each hand, closing Kaelith's eyes one by one. Tired of running. Tired of sending others to die in my place. Tired of being the symbol everyone protects and no one truly sees. She looked up at me. "You're a soldier. You understand." I did. God help me, I did. The alarms chose that moment to scream to life. "Station security," Syreth said calmly. "Kaelith's biosigns flatlined. You have perhaps 90 seconds before they seal this deck. Come with me." The words fell out of my mouth like stones. I didn't understand them. Didn't understand the impulse behind them. But I was already moving, grabbing her wrist. Her skin impossibly smooth, faintly warm, and pulling her toward the ventilation access. "Why?" she asked, echoing my own question. "Because I killed the wrong person," I said. "And you're going to help me understand why that matters." We vanished into the walls as the guards burst through the door. 47 hours later, we were aboard my extraction shuttle, drifting in the sensor shadow of a gas giant while I tried to figure out what the hell I had done. "Your superiors will execute you for this," Syreth observed. She sat in the co-pilot's chair, still wearing her sister's blood-stained robes, watching me with those unnerving gold eyes. "You extracted a target instead of eliminating her. That violates approximately 17 articles of your military code." 18, I corrected, not looking at her. I counted. "Then why?" I ran through the pre-flight checks for the 3rd time, not because they needed checking, but because I needed something to do with my hands. "Your sister, she knew I was coming. Kaelith always knew. She was a Seer. One of the last. She didn't run. Didn't fight. She just accepted it. She loved me." Simple words. Devastating in their simplicity. I finally turned to face her. Up close in the shuttle's harsh lighting, she looked exhausted. Young. Vulnerable in a way that intelligence reports never captured. "The war file says you've been coordinating resistance operations for 3 years," I said. "Responsible for dozens of human casualties. A priority elimination target. All true. But your sister died smiling because she saved you. Also true. Those 2 things don't fit together." Syreth's bioluminescence pulsed. A soft, sad rhythm I was beginning to recognize as Velorian body language. "They fit perfectly, Sergeant. You simply don't understand our people yet." She paused. "But you want to. That's why I'm still alive." "I don't understand anything right now," I admitted. "Including why I'm risking execution to have this conversation. Perhaps because you've spent years killing without questioning." She tilted her head, that alien gesture of curiosity. "And for the first time, you're facing something that demands questions." The nav computer chimed, interrupting whatever I might have said. "Safe jump coordinates calculated." Where will you take me? Syreth asked. I stared at the console, at the blinking cursor demanding a destination. Standard protocol, nearest military outpost for prisoner transfer. Except she wasn't a prisoner, not officially. And the moment I reported in, we'd both be dead. Me for treason, her for being who she was. Somewhere quiet, I finally said. Somewhere I can think. And then? Then I figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do with a high priestess who doesn't seem interested in staying alive. Something flickered across her features. Not quite a smile. Perhaps we can figure that out together. I punched in coordinates for an abandoned mining outpost in the Kepler Drift. As the jump drive spooled up, I tried to remember the last time I'd made a decision that wasn't dictated by mission parameters. I couldn't. The mining outpost was exactly as I remembered from a reconnaissance mission 3 years ago. Abandoned, remote, and thoroughly forgotten by both human and Velorian space. Perfect for disappearing. Perfect for thinking. Except I wasn't doing much thinking. Mostly I was watching my supposed prisoner reorganize my emergency rations into some kind of pattern that made sense only to her. Nutritional balance is inefficient in your species' food preparation, Syreth commented, not looking up from her work. You prioritize taste over function. We also prioritize not dying of boredom from eating nutrient paste. I leaned against the doorframe of the outpost's cramped galley. What are you doing? Creating a meal plan. We may be here for extended duration, and your supplies are. She searched for the word, chaotic. I'm a soldier, not a chef. Clearly. 3 days. 3 days of this strange domestic tension, of sharing small spaces with an alien I'd been sent to kill, of conversations that ranged from tactical analysis to philosophical debates about the nature of consciousness. Syreth asked questions constantly, about human culture, human emotions, human bonds. Your species forms attachments quickly, she observed one evening, as we sat in the outpost's observation dome watching the stars. Romantic partners within days, lifelong friendships in hours. We are slower. And yet your sister died for you without hesitation. The bioluminescence dimmed. I had learned that meant pain. Kaelith and I shared a bond that your language struggles to describe. Not romantic, not familial in the human sense. We were companions. The way she said the word gave it weight. Meaning beyond translation. Companions, I repeated. That's important in your culture. It is everything. She turned to face me, gold eyes luminous in the starlight. Among my people, the companion bond is sacred. It is two souls choosing to walk the same path, to share burdens and joys, to defend each other against all darkness. It is rare, precious. Many Velorians never find a companion. I was blessed with my sister from birth. And now she's gone. Now she is gone. The grief in those words was palpable. I had caused that grief. The realization sat heavy in my chest, unfamiliar and unwelcome. I'm sorry, I said. The words felt inadequate, foreign in my mouth. When was the last time I had apologized for a kill? You did not know. You were a weapon aimed by others. Syreth's fingers brushed against my hand, a fleeting touch that sent strange warmth through my skin. I do not blame the blade. I blame those who wielded it. I still pulled the trigger. Yes, you did. She withdrew her hand. And now you sit with me instead of delivering my body to your commanders. Why, Sergeant Vance? You have not yet truly answered that question. I had been avoiding it. Avoiding a lot of things. Marcus, I said. Pardon. My name. It's Marcus. If we're going to... I gestured vaguely at our situation. Whatever this is, you should probably use it. Something shifted in her expression. That not quite smile returned. Marcus. A strong name. It means warrior in one of your ancient tongues, yes? Just means my mother liked old Roman history. Ah. The empire that fell. Her bioluminescence pulsed with something like amusement. Your people have a complicated relationship with legacy, says the high priestess in exile. Touch. We sat in silence for a while, watching a distant nebula paint the darkness in shades of purple and gold. It was almost peaceful. Almost normal. Except nothing about this situation was normal, and we both knew it. Tell me about the resistance, I said finally. The truth, not the intelligence briefings. Syreth was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was different, older, wearier. My people were dying. Your expansion fleet arrived in our system 40 years ago, and within a decade, we had lost 7 of our 12 homeworlds. Not through war alone, but through assimilation, integration. Your culture is... Aggressive. It consumes others, reshapes them in its image. We call it cooperation. You call it many things. No accusation in her tone, just exhaustion. I watched my people become strangers to themselves. Our traditions faded, our language simplified for human tongues, our bond customs dismissed as primitive spiritualism. So you fought back. I organized. Others fought. I simply gave them a symbol to believe in. She met my eyes. The casualties your reports cite, they are real. But they are not murder. They are war, declared by a people who had no other voice. War kills people, Syreth, regardless of justification. Yes. And carrying those deaths is its own burden. Her hand found mine again, and this time neither of us pulled away. You carry yours as well. I can see it in the way you move, the way you sleep. Or fail to. We are both heavy with ghosts, Marcus. I couldn't argue. Didn't want to. My commanders won't stop looking for you, I said instead. Eventually, they'll find us. I know. We need a plan. We do. She squeezed my hand gently. But perhaps for tonight, we can simply be two tired souls watching the stars. It shouldn't have been. Every tactical instinct screamed that we were wasting time, that danger was approaching, that I needed to act. But I stayed. They found us on the 9th day. I woke to the proximity alarms screaming and Syreth already at the sensor console, her bioluminescence pulsing in rapid, urgent patterns. 3 vessels, she said as I joined her, still pulling on my tactical vest. Human military configuration. Interceptor class. Morrison. Guy. The name tasted like ash. My old commander. He doesn't give up. Evidently not. Syreth turned to face me, and in her eyes I saw not fear, but something like resignation. They are here for both of us now. You don't. I grabbed her shoulder harder than I intended. Whatever you're about to suggest, don't. I was going to suggest we have options. You were going to suggest you surrender yourself to buy me time. Her silence confirmed it. Not happening. I released her, moved to the weapons locker. We have approximately 15 minutes before they achieve boarding position. This outpost has emergency shuttles in the lower dock, pre-war models, but functional. Marcus, no. I handed her a sidearm and paused. The weapon looked wrong in her delicate hands against those soft robes. Can you fire one of these? I am a priestess and a strategist. Not a warrior. Guess I'm teaching you. The next 10 minutes were a blur of hurried instruction. Grip, stance, sight alignment, while the boarding klaxons counted down our remaining time. Syreth learned quickly, her alien fingers adapting to the human weapon with surprising grace. This feels wrong, she murmured, testing the weight of the pistol. Survival usually does. We made it to the lower dock as the first breach charges detonated somewhere above us. The shuttle was where I remembered. Old, dusty, but the lights flickered on when I hit the activation sequence. Get inside, I ordered. Start the pre-flight. What about, I'll hold them here, buy you time. Syreth didn't move. Her bioluminescence flared in a pattern I had come to recognize. Anger. Absolutely not. This isn't a debate. No, it is not. She stepped closer to me, those gold eyes blazing. 9 days ago, you told me we would figure this out together. Those were your words. The situation has changed. The situation is exactly what it was, you making decisions to protect me without consulting me. Just as Kaelith did. The comparison hit like a physical blow. I'm not your sister. No. You are not. Her hand touched my face, the gesture impossibly intimate, given the explosions echoing closer. But in 9 days, you have become something I did not expect. Something I had not felt since Kaelith died. Syreth, I will not lose another to this pointless sacrifice. Not you. Not like this. She pressed the pistol back into my hand. We fight together or we die together. Those are the only options I will accept. Footsteps thundered in the corridor outside. Time was up. Together then, I said. We made our stand in the maintenance corridor leading to the dock, narrow enough to create a choke point, cluttered enough to provide cover. Morrison had sent a full strike team, 8 soldiers in tactical armor. I recognized some faces from my old unit. Marcus! Morrison's voice boomed through the chaos. This doesn't have to end badly. Surrender the Velorian. Come home. We can claim psychological compromise, get you treatment. No court-martial. Generous offer. I called back, ducking as plasma fire scorched the wall beside me. What happens to her? Standard prisoner protocols. Meaning, execution. Silence was my answer. Syreth moved beside me, her earlier hesitation gone. When a soldier broke cover, and rushed our position. She fired, not perfectly, but well enough. The soldier stumbled, fell. "I believe," she said, her voice shaking slightly, "that I do not like this. Nobody does." I dropped another attacker with a headshot. Welcome to war. The firefight blurred into the desperate mathematics of combat. Conserve ammunition, maintain position, take measured risks. Syreth adapted faster than any civilian should, covering my reloads, calling out flanking movements. We moved as if we'd fought together for years, not days. But the numbers were against us. We were being pushed back, step by step, toward the shuttle dock. Marcus. Morrison again, closer now. Last chance. You know how this ends. I did know. The old me, the weapon without questions, would have calculated the odds and accepted the inevitable. Clean death, mission failure, acceptable casualties. The new me looked at Syreth, at the determination in her alien eyes, at the being who had somehow become worth more than my own survival. "Doc," I said. Now. We ran. A plasma bolt caught me in the back as we crossed the threshold into the shuttle bay. The impact spun me around, my vision going white with pain. Syreth caught me before I fell, her slight frame straining under my weight. "Inside," she gasped. "We need to go." I pressed the shuttle activation codes into her hand. "Launch. Don't look back," I said together. "You'll die here. Then, I will die here." She dragged me toward the shuttle's ramp, every step agony in my burning back. "This is what companions do, Marcus. We do not abandon each other. I'm not your companion." "No?" She met my eyes as she hauled me into the shuttle's interior. "Then why does losing you feel exactly like losing Kaelith?" The ramp sealed behind us. Through my fading consciousness, I heard her voice speaking commands I didn't understand. Felt the shuttle lurch as it launched. The last thing I saw before darkness took me was Syreth's face above mine, bioluminescence pulsing in that soft, sad rhythm. Like a heart breaking. Like a heart beginning to heal. I woke in stages, first to pain, then to warmth, then to a gentle humming I didn't recognize. "You are healing faster than expected." Syreth's voice, somewhere nearby. Human biology is remarkably resilient. I opened my eyes. We were in the shuttle's small medical bay, and Syreth sat beside my cot, watching me with those luminous eyes. Her robes were different, clean, simpler. She looked exhausted but somehow lighter than before. "How long?" My voice came out as a croak. 4 days. The plasma burn damaged significant tissue, but your medical nanites are efficient." She offered me water, supporting my head as I drank. "We are currently docked at Neutral Station Omega-7, a free port. Your military has no jurisdiction here, and Morrison lost us in the asteroid belt. Your people's sensors are not as sophisticated as they believe." A flicker of that almost smile. "We have time." I tried to sit up, immediately regretted it, and settled for a slightly raised position instead. "What's the plan?" "I've been considering that." Syreth moved to sit on the edge of the cot, close enough that I could feel the faint warmth radiating from her skin. "The resistance needs to know I survive. But I cannot return to them as I was, a symbol hidden away, protected at the cost of others' lives. What's the alternative?" "Change." She met my eyes. "Kaelith died so that I might live. You nearly died ensuring my escape. These sacrifices demand something more than continued survival. They demand transformation. Meaning, my people's resistance has been reactive, defensive. We strike and hide over and over, while your species continues its expansion. But you, Marcus, you showed me something in these past days. You showed me that not all humans are enemies. Some are simply soldiers doing what they are told. Plenty would disagree with that characterization. Perhaps, too. But you were sent to kill me, and instead you sat with me under the stars and asked questions." Her hand found mine, and this time the touch was deliberate, meaningful. "There is space for dialogue between our peoples. Not through my death or your obedience, but through something neither side has attempted. Understanding." I thought about Morrison, about the intelligence files painting Syreth as a monster, about a war I had fought without ever questioning why. That's a hell of a goal. It is. And I cannot achieve it alone. She squeezed my hand. "I find myself in need of a companion. Someone who understands both worlds. Someone who can bridge the gap." The word hung in the air between us, that heavy, sacred word. "Companion. I killed your sister, Syreth. You killed a woman who chose to die protecting me. Who would have wanted more than anything for me to find another to share my path? Her bioluminescence pulsed in a pattern I had never seen before, something complex, multi-layered. Kaelith's last gift was not just my survival. It was you. I'm a soldier. An assassin. I don't know how to be anything else. You knew how to question. How to hesitate when hesitation meant death. How to sit with an enemy and see a person instead of a target. She leaned closer. You knew how to be human, Marcus, in the best sense of that word. I wanted to argue. Wanted to list all the reasons this was impossible. The war, our species, the blood between us. But looking at her, at this alien being who had somehow become the most familiar presence in my life, I found the objections dissolving. I don't know how this works, I admitted. Your companion bond. I'm not Velorian. No. You are not. But the bond is not about species. It is about souls choosing to walk together. She released my hand, and I felt the absence like a physical ache. I am asking you, Marcus Vance. Not demanding. Not expecting. Asking. Will you walk with me? Somewhere beyond these walls, Morrison was hunting us. The war continued, bodies piling up on both sides. The future stretched ahead, uncertain and dangerous. But here, in this small medical bay on a neutral station, an alien priestess was offering me something I had never been offered before. Not orders. Not mission parameters. A choice. What happens if I say yes? Then we begin. Slowly, carefully, as trust must be built. We work toward understanding between our peoples. We protect each other, not through sacrifice, but through presence. We learn what it means to be companions when everything says we should be enemies. And if I say no, then I will mourn what might have been, and you will go your way. No accusation. No manipulation. Simple truth. But you will go knowing that at least one Velorian saw something in you worth treasuring. I thought about the 32 years before this moment. The missions. The kills. The careful emptiness I had cultivated to survive. I thought about the soldier I had been, the weapon without questions. Then I thought about 9 days of conversations under alien stars. About a priestess learning to fire a pistol while the enemy closed in. About her dragging me to safety while plasma fire scorched the air around us. About her calling me companion, and meaning it. Yes, I said. Syreth's bioluminescence blazed, that complex pattern again. But brighter now, warmer. Her hand returned to mine, and this time when she touched me, I felt something shift inside my chest. Not painful, not foreign, just different. Like a door opening, like a path beginning. It will not be easy, she warned. Your people will call you traitor, mine will question my sanity. The war will not pause for our understanding. I know. We may fail. We may die. The gap between our species may prove too vast to bridge. Maybe. I managed to sit up, despite the pain, and met her eyes at equal height. But 9 days ago, I killed the wrong alien. And instead of ending things, it started something I didn't know I needed. The wrong target leading to the right path. Her almost smile became a real one. Small, tentative, but genuine. Kaelith would have appreciated the irony. Tell me about her, I said. Properly. Everything. It will take time. We have time. Syreth settled beside me on the cot, her shoulder touching mine, her warmth bleeding into my healing body. As she began to speak, stories of a sister lost, of a bond that transcended death. I felt the weight of my old life lifting. Not gone. The ghosts would always remain. But lighter now. Share. Outside the viewport, the stars wheeled past, indifferent to the small miracle happening in a medical bay on a neutral station. 2 enemies becoming something new. 2 lonely souls finding a path together. In the language of her people, Syreth had told me, there was no word for goodbye between companions. Only until we meet again. I was starting to understand why.